So I'm just gonna start. The rest can actually join us when they want to. Let me just. I'm actually recording it, so in case I'll see if I can upload it. Okay. So let's just go straight into the charts. Today I'm just going to talk about what I'm going to be talking about today is just trade opportunities, okay? Because across the charts, like I can see a lot of trade opportunities developing, okay? And this is not a short-term trade opportunity. I'm talking about like a swing trade, like a long-term trade opportunity, right? So from here right now, I see that I can see an opportunity from here to probably 70 something to 80k BTC. So from around this level, Bitcoin can actually start pushing up to let's say the $80,000 region, 80k BTC. Okay, and I'm going to show you how and why. Okay, it's something we've been talking about for a very long time. Okay, so let's just go straight to the chart. You see the reason why I actually think there's a high probability. Now I'm not saying I'm 100% sure. So you by now you should be able to understand the probabilities, right? Due to our what do you call it, the trend, or what do you call it, the pattern we're trading. So due to the pattern we're trading, that is where I'm actually seeing the opportunity from. Okay, so I'm just going to go straight to the chart so that you'll be able to see what I'm actually seeing as well. Let me share my screen. Go straight to the chart. Okay, this is Bitcoin's chart. Let me take, hold on, I'm just gonna take, okay, no need, I'll leave it there. I'll leave it. I was gonna take off my face, but just leave it, doesn't mean. Right, so you can see now this is Bitcoin's charts. Let's start afresh. Okay, this is Bitcoin's chart. Let's go to the weekly. This is Bitcoin on the 1 week time frame. Okay, and as you can see on the 1 week, we're currently at the, what do you call it, at the high of this. Hold on, we're currently at this high here, but as you can see on the 1 week, there's nothing actually developing for us to want to take a sell. So we'll just go to the daily time frame. Okay, so this again has been the range we've been trading for a let's say almost how many months now, from March, right? And we remember that this was our range low, right? Or let me use the zone. This was our zone here, right? This is our support, and then we call this at the high here our resistance here. And as you can see, price is yet to hit this resistance. This was what I was telling you, humble. Price is yet to hit this resistance, so you can't be looking for a what do you call it, a sell, right? I remember you told me that price is currently selling off. I know, okay, but if you look at this very well, this is our what, resistance. Remember I told you that you first of all come to the what, the higher time frame, which is the daily, right? You outline your support and your resistance. This is your what, your resistance. Once you've been able to outline your resistance, then you outline your support as well, right? Below here is your support. As simple as ABC, right? This is your support, this is your resistance. Okay, remember we've talked about this very well, that once, and the reason why this is our resistance is because price has hit here, right? It's coming to this point, right? And then here support, right? We had something like this here, here, and here 5 times, and here at the resistance we had, like, let's say just these two here, right? Price came here and hit this point here twice. So at this point now we'll be expecting it to come into this point, right? We'll be expecting it to come back to this resistance. So right now price is still currently in an uptrend. It's still in an uptrend. That's just what we need to know with our daily range. Okay, with our daily zigzag, we just need to know that price is still in an uptrend. Hold on, let me see if someone wanted someone. Sorry, admin. Yeah, just mute your mute. Okay, good. Price is currently in an uptrend. That's what we just need to know. That price is currently in an uptrend. Okay, uptrend. You can see it clearly that it's still in an uptrend. Is yet to hit this point. The fact that it is yet to hit our resistance means that it is in an uptrend, and then we need to just go to the lower time frame to look for break and retest to enter. Okay, that's just all. Okay, as simple as that. Just need to go to your lower time frame, look for break and retest to enter. And the lower time frame that is closest to us right now is what? The 4 hours. This is on the daily. Then all we need to do is go to the 4 hour, click on 4 hour time frame, right? And then I zoom in. You can see it clearly, right? This was the support where we're coming from, right? Look at it here. We're coming from this point here, right? And then we've rallied down to this point, but we're still yet to tag this resistance. Okay, listen to me very carefully so that you understand what I'm doing. And as you can see, now let's outline our break and retest. How many break and retest do we have here so far? We have one here, right? Look at it clearly, right? Let's do this with this color here. You see that this was a break and retest. Why was it a break and retest? Right? Immediately price came out of this point here, right? It came here and tested this point here, right? And then we broke out, right? We retested it here. We broke out again, right? And then we retested this point here. Okay, so this another break and retest that we have here is here, this point here. If you remember very well, this was the break and retest I wanted to trade the last time we had the class, right? I told you that if price comes to this break and retest, this one here, I'll be taking a buy, right? And I'll be targeting this high, right? That was exactly the break and retest I told you about, right? And then when price came to this point, I didn't really get a clean buy, so I just left it. Okay, we deviated it here, we tagged it, but we didn't really get that that second retest. Okay, so I didn't really take the buy. Okay, so but at least we rallied a little bit to the high, and then before we started coming down, and then we started coming down, and then we started trading below. Okay, so at this point, the only buy I took at this point was here. I only took a small buy somewhere around here, right? Here. Jaden also took the buy with me, or somewhere around here, right? At this second retest, this was the second retest that made me took the buy here, right? As you can see, immediately we tagged it here, we rallied. When we were coming back for that second retest here, I took the buy. Okay, I took the buy here. You can see it clearly, right? With my stop loss somewhere around here. Why was my stop loss here? My stop loss was here because below the previous low, this was the previous low. Okay, that was why I put my stop loss here. If you could remember, I talked about it. Okay, and then I put my take profit where? The high here. Okay, look at it clearly. This was exactly the trade I took for like a 2.3 hour trade or something or thereabouts, right? And then you can see what price did. Price galloped up a little, right? Immediately galloped up. What happened? It started coming down into that my stop loss area, and then immediately we had this retest around here. What did I do? I just left the trade. I came out of the trade with, I didn't lose, I didn't win. Okay, I didn't lose, I didn't win, because as you can see very well, let me use another color for this. Hold on. You can see clearly that I didn't win, I didn't lose. Why? Because I came out of the trade here. Use blue. I hope you can see what I'm actually doing. Let's see if someone else. Hope you can see what I'm actually doing. If you have any questions, you can just DM me your question. Hope you can see what I'm doing clearly, right? Then you can see that this was where I actually left the trade. Okay, why I left the trade here is because now we are already inside of this stop loss. I can as well leave it, right? I can as well leave it. And then we can just continue going higher. But what I wanted to see was that I took the trade off. Then immediately we started breaking back into this range, and then we had another retest here. I will retake the same buy, expecting it to continue going higher. But immediately we started trading at the low here. You can see how I actually closed my trade here, right? I closed it below the support and resistance zone. It's more like I didn't lose anything. I didn't win. I didn't even lose the 1%. Here I probably lost maybe 0 point something percent minus charges that Bybit actually charged me. Okay, you can see the reason why I didn't even really lose anything. Okay, so you can see it very clearly. Like, it's very, very clear. Look at it very well. It's very clear why I actually closed my buy here. Immediately we broke below, we started retesting it from the low. I just closed my buy, waiting for it to break back up and retest. Then I'll take the same buy again, right? So you can see how I actually trade, and the fact that I didn't even really lose anything. And then you can see that we started breaking down. We had a small pump here, right? But we couldn't just break back inside of this and then have our retest, and before we continue going higher. We couldn't, right? That was when I knew that there's a problem, right? What I should be now focusing on now is what? The next break and retest. Where is the next break and retest? Below. You can see it clearly, like it is this other level here. Okay, this is the next break and retest here. So what do I do from here now? I'll now have to take this off, because it is no longer valid now, right? It is no longer valid, and I'll take it off. I'm not looking for a trade now at that point. I just took it off, right? Because right now, as you can see, we're already approaching a new break and retest below. You remember that what we're looking for is buy. We're looking for buy because we're targeting this high here. So the only thing we should be looking for is buy, and we should just be looking for a break and retest. Okay, we see that we've attempted a break and retest here. It didn't work out, right? Now we're attempting the one here now, hoping that it's going to work out. Okay, so that is just what I'm actually trying to explain to you now. It's just very easy to understand. Okay, but it just takes time and practice. If you continue to practice it very well, you're going to understand it. Okay, so with that being said, let me take all of this off. With that being said, now look at what we have currently here now. This was the reason why I actually asked you guys to take the buy. Okay, I told you guys that there's a buy signal here. Okay, and this is the buy signal. As you can see, we actually came to this test zone, right? We tested it the first time, rallied up, and now we tested it the second time. At this point was where I actually took a buy. Okay, now I took a buy here, targeting where? This high here. Targeting this high. Okay, and most possibly there's a probability that we even come and tag this high as well. That's the main resistance, the higher time frame resistance. Okay, that's from the 1 day resistance. You need to listen to me very carefully. Okay, then I can even decide to raise my take profits into this point, right? Then when it gets to, hold on please. Then when it gets to this high here, I can take majority of the trade off, probably like 80% off at this high here. Okay, then I'll just leave the rest to run to this high. Then maybe when it gets to this point, then I'll take the remaining 20% off. Then I'll close the trade done. Okay, it's not really difficult. And as you can see, where is my stop loss going to be again? Below this previous high, below the previous low rather, right? This was the break and retest, right? High, low, high now, right? And then we have the low here. Look at the low, right? So where is your stop loss going to be? Below the previous low. Where is the previous low? Here. You can see why I actually put my stop loss here. Why I asked you guys to put your stop loss here. Go back to the chart I sent to you. I sent it to everybody. I sent it to everybody individually. Okay. Look at where I actually put my stop loss below the last low here. Okay. So that when we start breaking down, because there's a high probability that we can do something like this, right? And then let's say if we start trading below here, I might probably cut the trade. Okay. And then I'll wait for it. Once we reclaim this support and resistance, then I'll be looking to re-enter and continue longing it to the upside. That was the same thing I actually did at this point here too, if you remember, right? The way I actually closed when we started breaking below, right? And so that it will help me conserve my capital, so that I don't necessarily have to even lose the whole 1 hour. But if you're new and you might just decide to just leave it, okay, you might decide to leave it to hit your 1 full hour. It doesn't matter, okay, it's just 1%, okay, because you may not be able to manage it when it is actually, breaking below and then retesting. You may not be able to manage it, okay, so you can just leave it, because sometimes it can just break below and then come back and re-enter the support and resistance zone, okay. So you can see clearly what I just did, right? Sometimes you can just have this small manipulation here. This is more like to shake a lot of people out, and then immediately we get back inside, okay. Then we'll be continuing the buy, because this is the buy we're actually looking for at this point here, okay. Because we have the break and retest now. Break and retest. The first break and retest did not work. Look at it here, and you saw the way I actually got out of it, right? And now we are currently in the second break and retest here, okay. So you cannot, that's why I said you can take the buy here, based on the break and retest. Some, you can see the reason why I asked you to take the buy here now. You can see
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you can see it now. You remember you were telling me that it's in a downtrend, but based on the fact that we are actually in an uptrend due to the 1 day time frame now, you can see the 2 break and retest that I just played. The first one did not work out, and this is the second break and retest now, right?
Yeah.
And you can see where I'm actually buying from, and you see where my stop loss is below the previous low. Because price might just decide to shake a lot of people out, okay, and then come back and continue, okay. Yeah, so that is the reason why I'm taking the buy here. And in my opinion, this is a high probability trade. It is a high probability trade, okay. So most of the time I risk probably like 2% in a high probability trade. I'm not asking you to go and risk 2%, oh. You can start with 1%. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions so far?
Not really.
But you understand what I actually did so far, right? You understand it. You saw the way the first break and retest did not work out, right? Here at this point here, it didn't really work out. That was where we took the first trade, right? Remember I took the buy from here, right? And then we went up a little and we started breaking down, right? And I told you that I'm getting out of the trade because one, it is weekend, and secondly, we're already below the support zone, right? So immediately we started breaking down, and now we're now back into this second break and retest here. Remember, okay? So look at it very well. If you want to screenshot, you can screenshot it, okay? But I sent you the chart already. So this is the break and retest we are currently on right now. This one here, okay? And I took
to ask a question.
Okay.
What time frame is the perfect time frame to choose your support and resistance?
Daily is the perfect time frame. Daily, okay? It's just that daily time frame, remember I told you that daily time frame you get let's say probably 2 trade opportunity in a month, or even 1. That is why sometimes I usually go to 4 hours and then look for a clear support and resistance that is actually developing. But it's going to be very, very confusing to you guys. That is why I don't really want to teaching you guys based on 4-hour time frame now. I just want to focus on the daily. Okay, I want to focus on the daily. I don't want to teach you guys because I can see that it was becoming a little bit confusing when I was teaching you guys with the 4-hour time frame, which I'm not going to be doing anymore. Okay, what we're going to be focusing on now is just 1 day time frame. Okay.
Yeah.
So you can see from the 1 day, you see the way I actually went from the 1 day time frame into the hold on, let me see. The rest are not actually available right now. You can see the way I went from the 1 day time frame. Let me zoom in so that you see. Look at the 1 day time frame up and down, right? And then I zoomed into the 4-hour now. This is the 4-hour time frame, right? And then I'm seeing a clear. This is even a very clear support and resistance. Resistance, sell off, right? Breakout, support, valid. It's coming back to this previous support. So this is a very clear support and resistance zone to take a buy. Okay. And now we're targeting where? The high here, right? This high here is our target. And then our stop loss is below the previous low here. Then we'll drag our stop loss here. So that is why I told you that this is like more like a 1.6 hour trade. Remember I told you guys it's more like let's say about a 1.6 hour trade, 5 something to 6 hour. Let's put it here, somewhere here. Okay? So you see the reason why. So price might start breaking down. If price starts breaking down and retesting this point, I might close the trade here, just like I did the other time, right? And then I will now have to wait for it to break back inside and retest. Then I will now take the trade from here, hoping for a continuation to the upside, okay? Do you understand what I just did here?
Yeah.
So you don't, but if it starts breaking down, you don't necessarily need to close your position. You can still leave yours, okay? But most of the time, but if I'm going to close mine, I'm going to let you know. And if I decide to leave it, I'll still let you know, okay? So this is one trade I'm actually looking at. And then some of you were actually asking me how can you trade other coins, right? What I do is that can you mute your mouth your listen for a while. So what I usually do is that how do I trade not just Bitcoin alone? How do I trade other currencies as well? Okay, what I do is that I usually use Bitcoin as a proxy because the truth is that whatever Bitcoin does, that is what most of all those altcoins are going to do, right? So what I do is that now that I'm seeing that there seems like a buy signal at this point, right? Then that is when you can now go and look at other coins. I'll give you an example of a coin that I'm actually looking at right now. There are a lot of coins that I'm actually looking at. Let me look at Pepe. Okay, Pepe is not giving me a signal right now. Okay, let me take this off so that you won't get confused. Let me go to Ton. There's one coin I'm looking at buying. There are a lot of coins I'm actually looking at buying right now. Once Bitcoin gives at this buy signal, but I'm just waiting to see if we're going to shake out a lot of people. Okay, before I take those buys with those altcoins. Let me go to altcoin. No, altcoin. Hold on. So let's look at something like Ton coin. Okay, let's look at what we have here on Ton coin. There are lots of opportunities I'm actually looking at presenting itself a lot. If you look at Ton coin, right, what do we have here? We have let me use this. The reason why I'm going to buy Ton coin is because Ton coin has actually been rallying. It's been going up. Okay, so if Bitcoin is going to go up, I feel like Ton coin if Bitcoin is going to go up like 2, 3 or 5%, Ton coin is going to go up like, let's say, 40%. Okay, so let's say this is our resistance and this is our support here. Let's use this level here. Right, let's take this one off. So as you can see clearly that this is our resistance and this is our support on Ton coin, right? and now we're currently at that resistance. So what I'm actually looking for with Toncoin here is the middle point. I'm trying to see if I can get a reversal at the middle point from the lower time frame. Though let me not just let's go take Toncoin off, because I don't really want to like start analyzing the lower time frame to you guys, just like what I did the other time. I don't want you to start getting confused. But if you look at it very well on Toncoin, what I'm actually looking for is the lower time frame. I'll just go to the lower time frame, and then I'm looking. What's that?
Okay, let's go back to Bitcoin. Because
Yes, exactly. I understand what you're saying. I don't want to like confuse you guys with this Toncoin here or whatever the altcoins are actually doing. But what I'm just trying to say is that there are lots of opportunities in altcoins that are actually presenting themselves right now. Okay, but I'm not just gonna analyze them. I don't want you guys to get confused. Let's just focus only on Bitcoin. Okay, so that you can see what I'm actually showing you guys on Bitcoin. Okay.
for the Bitcoin,
Yeah.
me, I'm thinking that it's not yet the right, it's not giving the right signal now for buy.
What makes
Because
you say?
this, this last candle now that it's making,
Yeah.
that is looking like it's going to an uptrend
Yeah.
on the 4 hours time frame.
Yeah.
That candle, it's still left about 2 hours 50 minutes for that candle to finish, and before that time that candle might go down. You understand what I'm trying to say?
See, that is exactly why I'm telling you that. Can you hear what I'm saying now? Let me repeat what I'm
Yeah.
saying. That is exactly why I told you that we might have a shakeout. Remember, I explained manipulation to you guys, right? We might have a shakeout here before we get back inside and continue.
Since we have not get a direct signal for buy, why don't we just leave it?
No, it's still a direct signal for buy. The signal for buy in itself is what? A break and retest. If you remember, the signal for buy is what? What did I teach you guys about break and retest, right?
You remember the last trade we took together?
Yeah.
It just, how many candles? Just 2 candles he gave for, it was showing a for retest for upward trend, and but that trade still failed.
Wait, let me show you. Let me explain. Let me ask you something now, so that you be the one to answer me. Okay. Look at this now. How many times has price come to test this point here?
3 times.
This is what? One,
Three.
one, right? 2.
Yeah.
This is what? 3 times. How many retests do you now want so far? How many retests do you want before you take the buy? Do you understand?
No, I know. Okay, I know this is the right resistance point. I'm sorry, support point.
Yes.
But the trend hasn't given us a specific direction yet. It's still moving around that area, that support area. It doesn't tell us that it's going up or it's going down. That's my problem. Because the only one is telling us that the only candle that is telling us that it's going up is just one. And that one has not even ended. It still has a long journey to go. So it might end up going down later.
See, let me explain something to you that you need to understand is that I understand. I like the question you're asking. Forget the fact that I'm signed. I like the question you're asking. It's a very good question. It's a very, very what they call it. It's actually what they call it. It's potent. Let me put it that way. Yeah, it makes sense. Okay. So yes, there are lots of situations whereby the thing is that I don't want to. The thing is that I want you guys to learn to keep things freakishly simple. When I mean very simple, I mean extremely simple. As you're starting off trading, you don't need to try your best to want to complicate things. Look at the candle, what the candle looks like it's doing. We've printed 4 candles, 2 candles, 3 candles, and all of that. No. Okay? That was why I told you guys that what? Break and retest. This is exactly what I taught you guys here. Once I told you that once it's coming into this retest, what do you do from here? You buy. As long as the trend is to the upside, you just buy. You target where this next. Sorry. Once it's coming into this point here, what do you do? Once it's coming into this point, what did I teach you guys? Once it's coming into this point, what do? You buy. It doesn't matter what it is doing. I know that at this point now, it looks like it is in a downtrend, right? It's still going down. I know, okay, but it's coming into what? A support zone here. What do you do at a support? Just buy, okay? You buy, and then you target the previous high here. This high, okay? This high here is what you're going to be targeting, okay? And then where is your stop loss going to be? Below this previous low here. So you put your buy here, you target where? This high, and then your stop loss will be below the previous low here, okay? It's just as I just want you guys to try to keep things. Stop looking at all of this thing that is actually happening here, okay? It's not going to help you. It's going to get you very, very confused, especially as you're just starting off. You just need to learn how to keep things simple, like extremely simple, okay? That was what I was actually trying to say with. Do you understand what I'm saying now?
Yeah.
So that was what I was trying to say with this, that you don't need to try to wrap your head around what is happening here, okay? You don't need to even try to wrap your head around what is happening here. It's already at the support zone here. It's already here. It's already here. Here. Look at where it is again. What are you supposed to do? Are you not supposed to buy? You're supposed to buy here, and what do? You target what? The high here. Don't try to over formulate or try to just, if you keep things simple, that is the only way you're going to be profitable in trading. That is the only way you're going to learn how to what? Become profitable in trading, okay? Fast, like that's where you go. But if you start focusing on all these tiny details that is happening inside of this point here, you start giving yourself a lot of headache. Just put it there, because at the end of the day, price is either going to go up or down, okay? It's going to go up or down. And the simplest way to trade, even the best traders in the world, they just focus on what? Just support and resistance. And then you put your stop loss where? Below the previous low here. This was the previous low here. You put your stop loss below it here. Finish. That's all. And you go and sleep. You understand? If price comes, let's say let's say you're doing other things and all. Okay, trading is not supposed to be, I'm teaching you guys how trading is supposed to be. Trading is not supposed to be something that you're going to be like monitoring. Price is looking like he's printing one candle, that candle has not closed, this, that. No, trading is supposed to be very simple. Like, you don't need to overcomplicate or wrap your head around it at all, okay? So look at how simple it is. I just gave it to you guys. That's it. I gave it to you clean. Like, there's nothing else in trading apart from this that I just showed you, okay? So let's say you decide to put your trade now. You've set up your trade. You put your stop loss here, right? Your take profit here. You can even go and play. Just leave the trade. Tomorrow you can come back and see that where your stop loss got taken out, right? It's a 50-50 chance. Anything can happen. But at this point here, there's a higher probability that we will start going up here. Remember I taught you guys probability. Nobody knows what is going to happen, but at this point here, it's giving you a higher probability that there's a higher probability that it's going to come up to this point. Okay?
The candle has started rising more than what we started.
Exactly. So you don't need to even be all this candle is rising and it's not rising that you're always talking about. I don't even used to pay attention to it. So the other time that you told me that, okay, look at that time that I remember the time you told me that this candle was rising. Remember this candle here? Remember this candle here that you told me that there was a time that you were telling me that the candle was rising here, this one here.
Yeah.
That you're saying that it's buy. What later happened afterwards? Sell. So you don't need to, don't even, I don't even want you guys to be watching too many videos out there. There are a lot of crazy stuffs out there that you're going to be watching that is going to get you guys confused. Okay? You came to me for a reason, and I'm trying to give it to you guys the simplest way possible. Okay? So trading is not supposed to be something that is going to be like mathematics. There's no maths, there's no anything. It's just simple break and retest. Okay?
Okay. Should I take a buy now? This candle is rising.
So you've not even taken the buy. What were you waiting for before?
No, at that point, it was still liquidating now.
You are afraid. You are afraid.
That's why I was asking you that should I?
And I told
Because
you
I was not
yes.
thinking it's the right.
I even sent you a voice note. You probably didn't listen to my voice note. I told you that if you want to be learning something else, you can be trading it on your demo account. Okay? But when I give a signal,
What if the trade now plays out here? I'll be regretting also why I pick it on my account.
But you're learning, right? You're learning something, because at the end of the day, what I'm doing is I'm guiding you guys. All of us are going to be seeing the market in a different way, in a different perspective, okay? But what I'm giving you guys at the end of the day is just a framework, okay? A framework on how to. Is the chat on Monday? Hold on, please. So what I'm actually giving you guys is a framework. The chart is on 4 hour right now. On 4 hour. Hope you can see the chart clearly. So what I'm giving you guys is a framework on how to now go. It's more like a foundation. A foundation. Then maybe later on, once you're now getting very used to the chart, you can now start paying attention to all of these small details here. The candle is going up. You will now be seeing a lot of things happen over and over. That you will now start saying that, okay, I've seen this thing happen before. That anytime we tag this point here, we usually maybe go down, then maybe we'll now come back up, and then we'll continue. You understand? So you can now start paying attention to smaller details that you understand that is now becoming subjective to you alone. You understand? But for the meantime, what I'm giving you is a framework of just break and retest, the simple way to approach the market. Okay? So it's as easy as that. You can mute your mouthpiece. Okay, please mute your mouthpiece. Aha, so that's just it. There's nothing very difficult with what I've actually explained to you guys here. Just take the buy. Okay? Take the buy, because this is like a break and retest from where? This was our support, our daily support here, right? We know that this was our daily support, right? We came out of it, bam. We retested it here, what? And then we rallied, right? High, low, right? Then we rallied again, right? This was not the first. This was a break and retest here. We took this one, but it didn't really play out, right? It started coming down below. Immediately we retested it from the below. I closed the trade, right? If you decided to take it, if you decided not to close the trade, immediately it's retesting below, right? You would have actually suffered a 1% loss, okay? You would have suffered a 1% loss, okay? But look at now, immediately I closed it here now, we came back into this other second support and resistance here, right? High, low, high, low, high, right? The first one here did not play out here. Now we're coming back to the second one now to retest. So this first one here has now been invalidated. You can cancel this one, okay? So this is the one now that we are focusing on here now. This one, this other one is no longer what's applicable, because this is the one that we're now focusing on. Let me reiterate it here so that you see it clearly. This is what I mean, okay? High, right? Low, high, low, right? We had another high. We're now coming back into this low, right? This was exactly what we did. We took this one here, right? What happened? It didn't play out. We took this one here, it didn't play out, right? Immediately started retesting it from the low. I closed the trade here, right? That was exactly what I did. I closed the trade from here, okay? And then it started coming down, right? Now what is the next support and resistance here now? Is this one now, right? Okay, so now it started coming down. Started coming down. Now we are currently at this point here now. That's where we are right now with the chart, right? So what do you do at this point? What do you do? You're going to take off this one now. You take off this one. You take off this one. It's no longer valid, right? because now price is currently coming into this second one here. Now this is what we now want to be focusing on, right? And then what we now want to take the buy from here, targeting where the high here, okay? And then where's our stop loss going to be? Below the previous low here. Where's our previous low? Here. Where's our high? Here. Simple. Okay? And then if it starts breaking down, let's say if it starts breaking down, maybe I might just be forced to cut it here. And then if it starts reclaiming again, I'll take the same buy, targeting that high. Okay? But you may decide not to close your trade if it's closing below, because we might just continue and then you will just still be in the trade. Okay? But me, sometimes, based on I'm already good at it, and then I might just decide to close it, and then once we start reclaiming it, and I'll just take the buy again. Okay? So, but as time goes on, I'll be explaining to you guys some of the things I do. Okay? Some of the things I usually do, right? Sometimes if it starts coming below, because sometimes once it starts trading below here and then I close it, it might just rip and just continue. It might not even come back and retest here again. Do you understand what I just did? Because so there are lots of plans I usually take, right? Let me explain what I just explained now. Sometimes if it starts breaking below and then I close it here, sometimes it can just start coming back and it will not even come back and retest this point again. It's from here it can just continue going higher. So what do? Most of the time I just I'm going to explain that to you guys next time, okay? But what you need to do is that once price is coming into this point, just buy. Okay? You don't necessarily need to even close it below here. You don't necessarily need to close it once it starts trading below. You can just leave it so that you can decide to take the full 1% loss. That's if it even gets to this point. Okay? Because sometimes if you can just break back out and it may not even let you back in, right? It may not come back to this point. You can just break back out, do something like this, and then continue. You understand? So there are lots of ways I actually go around playing it when it comes to this, what I just explained so far. Okay? But the primary thing you need to just understand is that once it comes to this point, just buy. Okay? You don't need to be looking at what the candle is doing. If it's doing bullish candle, blah blah, buy. Just buy. Don't be afraid. Buy. Okay? Put your stop loss here. That's all. Put your take profit here. Okay? That's just as simple as it can actually be. Okay? So that being said, do you have any questions so far before we round up?
No, not really. I'm just looking at the chart.
Okay, let me take all of this off. It's not going to allow me to take it off. So look at the chart clearly. This is on a 4-hour time frame. Remember, let me go back to the daily. Look at the way the daily looks like, right? It's not really giving you even on the daily it looks somehow like a break and retest, but we have to come to the lower time frame. Remember, we need to come to the lower time frame, which is the 4-hour, to look at it clearly what is actually giving us. Okay?
Yeah.
So that's just it. Remember I told you that you can't be looking for a sell because it's still in an uptrend, right? We're still going to that high there that I told you guys, that high. So maybe it came to this point. We took one opportunity here. It didn't play out. Now we're taking the second opportunity here. Okay? So that's just it. So we'll see how it's going to play out during the week. Okay?
Okay.
Don't forget that this is a 4-hour candle, so it can take maybe days to play out. Look at 4 hours. Okay? You can do something like this. These are like 4 hours candles. So you can take probably even 2 days, 3 days. I don't know. Nobody knows how it's going to do. It can just keep doing like this. You understand? Take even up to a week. Nobody knows. Okay? But we took the buy at a point. A good point. Yeah. That's how our strategy actually works. Okay? Do you have any questions so far? Because we're going to round up now. Okay? Hope there's no question. I don't want to be explaining to you guys. I don't want to be using 4-hour support and resistance level again. Remember, on the 4-hour support and resistance level, you map your support and resistance on 4-hour. Then, once you've now gotten the direction that is showing you. Let's say from the support now, right? It's at the support on the 4-hour support and resistance, right? Then you now have to go to where the like 1 hour time frame or 30 minutes time frame to now start looking for break and retest. Remember, you understand? But it's gonna give you a low probability trade because most of the time it's gonna always give you a low probability. You want to trade with the big boys. Most of the big boys, most of the big money, they usually trade on 1 day time frame. They don't usually do those 30 minutes, those 4-hour support and resistance shit. Okay? Exactly. So let's just see how this is going to play out during the week, okay? If there's no, just check, okay? Let me give you guys like 1 minute to check if there's no questions so that we can just round up and call it a day, okay? I don't really want to waste much time today. Okay? Is there any questions so far?
No questions for me.
Okay.
I'm okay.
Do you have any question?
I don't think they're online. Oh no.
Okay, no, he's still online. Do you have any question? I don't think he has any question. If you don't have any question, I'm going to round up now.
I will text you on WhatsApp.
Alright, no problem. Alright, now that being said, let's just see how the trade is going to play out, okay? And I'll see you guys, okay? I recorded this, so I'll try my best to upload it on YouTube so that in case the rest, because a lot of people, I'm not even taking the other bash. It's just coming on. I'm not even taking the other bash today, so I'll just this week I'll just record it and then I'll just post it for the rest people to go and actually view. Okay, Jaden, you're just coming online. I've actually discussed everything I'm going to discuss, and we're just about to call it a day. Okay, so I'm going to upload it on YouTube. Okay, so you can go to YouTube and you watch it. It's very important that you watch this one. Okay, it's very, very important. Okay. Alright, and yeah, I know you just go home. Most of those altcoins, I don't want to analyze altcoins to you guys, okay? But the only thing I can do is that if I have an altcoin signal, okay, I can just decide to send it to you guys that I'm buying this so altcoin. I'm not going to be buying it with futures, okay? I'm going to be buying it with spot, which is more like an investment aspect, right? I'll tell you when I'm buying it. If you want to buy, if you have some money in your spot, this is not your futures now, your derivatives rather. This is not your spot. This is like an investment, right? Then you buy, and if I decide to exit it at any time, let's say if it starts going in a loss and is outside my strategy, I can decide to close it. Okay, I'm not part of those people that usually ride trades to the downside. Let's say you're suffering a loss, 10%, 20%, 30%, and you're still holding it. I know how to cut my losses quick, okay, and look for a better position to re-enter the trade, okay. So that's gonna be all for today, okay. So I'll see you guys on Saturday. I usually don't do anything on Sundays. That's just the truth. So then I will do on Saturday or on Monday, okay. Alright, now have a lovely night, everyone, and I'll just upload it and I'll send you guys the link. So in case you want to go and rewatch it to refresh your mind and refresh your memory, okay?
Okay.
Alright, take care, guys. Good night.
Good night.